Hello everyone, I hope you are doing absolutely well. Myself Kuhu Sarkar, and this is the continuation of the series of Maharevision of Indian writers. Though I had started the series before the re-examination of UGC NET, but that time I could not complete the whole series because I was not feeling well. So, but though I could not complete the whole series, but I saw many questions were asked from this series, like they asked Mahesh Dattani, then they also asked Salim Razdi and others like R.K. Narayan works in chronology, and I also make a trick of the chronology, right? So I thought to continue to complete the whole PDF, to complete the whole series, so that it will help you in your December exam. And I will try to make many videos on Dalit writers, South Asian writers in chronology, so that it will completely help you in your exams and for NET set or GATE exams also. So today our first writer is Girish Karnad. He was very much important writer. Here I only took the writings and I just gave you the. I want to give you just little information about his works, but you should watch or read his summary, the work summary from Google Wikipedia, or you can watch YouTube videos. There are many videos particularly on his work, because he is very much important writer, and he was asked many times. Maybe last two times he was not asked, but many times he was asked, his works were asked. Okay, so let's see him, see about him. Here is the picture. Sorry, because the picture was blurry. Okay, so let's start. Girish Karnad was born in 1938 and died in 2019. He was an acclaimed Indian playwright, actor, director, and screenwriter. And you can watch him. You can watch him in many Bollywood film also. So, who made significant contribution to the Indian theatre and cinema. Writings in primarily in Kannada. Karnad's works have been translated into numerous Indian languages and English. His plays are known for their deep engagement with history, mythology, and contemporary social issues, often blending traditional and modern elements. So let's see his important works one by one, and as I had already told you that you should know the whole summary, detailed summary of his writings. Here I only give you the fact which will ask in the exam, but you should know the whole summary. Okay, so Yayati, and I will also make a particular video on the Girish Karnad where I will discuss the whole summary. Okay. So Yayati was Karnad's first play. Please note down this, that it was his first play, and it instantly established him as a significant dramatist. Okay, and please note down it in chronology with the publication year. The play is based on a story from Mahabharata. So please note down that they will ask you that the story is taken from which text, Mahabharata or Ramayana. So you should write that Mahabharata. Mahabharata about the king Yayati, who exchanges his old age with his son's youth. He exchanges his old age with his son's youth. It explores theme of desire, responsibility, and the consequences of one's action, and presenting a nuanced take on human frailties. So, in Tennyson also have a poem, right, where the protagonist asked his beloved to give him the uh, to give him the power that he can be young, he can never die. So here also he exchanged his old age with his son's youth. Okay, then the next writing, Tughlaq. Here you have to know that this particular play is about Muhammad bin Tughlaq, that how he made bad decisions in his life and how he became a failure king. though his intentions were always right, but he for his bad decisions he take the title. He was called Mad King. So one of Karnad's most celebrated works, Tughlaq, is a historical play that centers on the life of Muhammad bin Tughlaq and the 14th century Sultan Delhi. And it is also said that he also try to show the contemporary politics through this play. How because if in that time our Nehru was the prime minister, and he also tried to convey that how to Nehru's some decisions give the bad consequences. So the play is a critical political ambition of idealism and highlighting the tragic downfall of a ruler whose visionary ideas lead to chaos and disillusionment. Tughlaq remains a powerful commentary on the complexities of leadership and governance. Okay, Hayabadna, his most important writings, and you should read it the whole summary, or you should know the full. You should listen the YouTube summaries. Okay, Hayabadna is a groundbreaking play that combines elements of folk theatre, classical Indian themes. It is inspired Thomas Mann's retelling of an ancient Indian tale. So please note down that this question was many times asked, that this play took the reference of Thomas Mann's retelling of an Indian tale from Katha Sarit Sagara, explores the theme of identity and completeness. The central story revolves around a love triangle complicated by the interchange of heads between two friends, raising questions about the nature of human identity. Okay, Nagamandala. Nagamandala is a play rooted Kannada folklore of and oral tradition. So Kannada took many of his writings from the folklore story. It tells the story of Rani, who was a neglected wife who transforms her life the interventions of a magical snake. The play explores the themes of gender, desire, and subversion of traditional roles, and using folklore to address contemporary and social issues. So I will definitely make a make a video on particularly on Girish Karnad, because he is very much important. Then his next writing is Taledanda. Taledanda, translated as death by beheading, is set in 12th century and deals with the Bhakti movement led by Basanta in Karnataka. The play focuses on socio-religious reforms movement, the clash between progressive and orthodox elements within society. It serves as an allegory for modern conflicts over caste and social injustice. Then the fire and the rain. From this text, they asked question, and the question was, the play was based on which text? So the play is based on story of Mahabharata, delves into the theme of jealousy and sacrifice and human desire for recognition. The plot revolves around a fire sacrifice intended to bring rain to a drought-stricken land and personal vendettas and ambitions that surround it. The play intricately weaves mythology with contemporary existential questions. Okay, so he also contributed in cinemas. So apart from contribution to theatre, Girish Karnad was also a significant figure in Indian cinema, and he wrote and directed several films, often adapted his own plays, like some notable films like Samskara. So I had told you that Samskara, I watched this film in YouTube, black and white film, and here there Girish Karnad was acted the protagonist role. So an adaptation of U.R. Ananthamurthy's novel, it deals with the caste issue and was pivotal and in the parallel cinema movement. Then Bangsa Brixa, it was published in 1971, co-directed with B.V. Karanath. The film explores generational conflicts and societal changes. Utsav 1984, based on the ancient Sanskrit play Mrichakatika. Mrichakatika, you know, it was also important play by Sudraka, ancient play, and it is a colorful depiction of love and desires in ancient India. Okay, so now see our next writer Arun Joshi. He is not that much important, so I will just give you a overall um, information. So Arun Joshi was born in Varanasi in the year of 1939. He attended schools in India and United as well. So let's see his writings. The Foreigner, The Strange Case of Billy Biswas, Apprentice, The Last Labyrinth, City and the River. Stories like The Survivor, The Only American from Our Village. Okay, so let's see the story of Last Labyrinth. So Last Labyrinth, you know the film where Katrina Kaif and Shah Rukh Khan act, and there you can see, I could not remember the name right now. So there you can see that Katrina Kaif prayed God for Shah Rukh Khan's life, and she said that if Shah Rukh Khan survive, she will never continue the relationship. So here you can see the same story. It is a story of Som Bhaskar. He is 25-year-old who inherits his father's vast industrial wealth. So married to Geeta, who was a devotional woman, but he is attracted by Anuradha, also who is an alluring and mysterious woman. So there is a novel also by maybe Graham Greene. So the same story plot line is there also. She is a she is a married woman or to some. She also married to some Aptab, a businessman. But Som finds her so irresistible in the whole novel. The way of getting her in described a vivid manner. Her conduct is beyond Som's comprehension. She accepts and rejects and flees from him without warning, and he even suspects that she has some agreement with Geeta because Geeta is his wife. The situation drives Som to the brink of death and from a heart attack, but she miraculously survives. While Anuradha disappears without a trace, after his recovery, he is hell-bent upon find Anuradha. His frantic pursuance to search Anuradha leads him through absurd situations. So eventually learns that Anuradha had consecrated to sacrifice her love for him in order to save him from death at the time of his heart attack. Agonistic and proud, Som rejects this explanation and continues his vehement quest, which eventually leads him to Anuradha's Haveli. In the desperate effort to again flee from him, she disappears in the last labyrinth. Okay, and whether and he Som could not know that whether she commits suicide or she has been killed. Okay, now our Som goes on addressing his thought to her in the form of prayer. Okay, now our next writing is The Foreigner. The central character of the story is Sindhi Oberoi, and the story revolves around the loneliness and feelings of anguish, anxiety born of his estrangement from his environment and tradition and his true self. In the story, the young hero, after experiencing love and life in America, comes in Delhi and eventually persuaded by a humble office worker that sometimes detachment lies in actually getting involved. The Surendra Oberoi is detached, almost alienated man who sees himself as a stranger, whether he lives on goes or goes. He feels the same in every place, in Kenya where he was born, and England, and also in USA. Okay. Then the strange case of Mr. Veli Viswas. Maybe the title I forget to add. Okay, so the strange case of Billy Biswas is the protagonist here. Billy Biswas was the protagonist here, and Miss Meena Chatterjee was the Meena Chatterjee, wife of the protagonist of Billy Biswas, and Meena is an associate of the modern phony society, which is totally disliked by Billy. Okay, now our see our next writer. She is Bharati Mukherjee. Bharati Mukherjee was born on 27th July 1940 in Kolkata, and in Calcutta. Then that time it was in Calcutta. She began writing books along with her husband, writer Clark Basil Blaise, and whom she married in 1963. They together produced two books, Days and Nights in Calcutta 1977, The Sorrow and Terror, The Haunting Legacy, and of the Year, Indian Tragedy. Okay, she deals with the themes of Asian immigrants, North America, and the change taking place in South Asian women in a new world. So let's see her writings one by one. First is The Tiger's Daughter, 1972, Wife. Then Jasmine, The Holder of the World, Leave It to Me. Darkness by Bharati Mukherjee is a collection of 12 short stories about the difficulties that women immigrants have in adjusting to life in Canada and United States. So, The Tiger's Daughter, 1972. It is an autobiographical story. The central character of the story is Tara, and the story revolves around her. The protagonist is just an Indian origin educated at Vassar College, New York. So, as I told you, that it is a autobiographical novel. Then Jasmine is the central protagonist, central character of the novel. Said the idea of mixing East and West with the storytelling of in young Hindu women who lives India for the US after her husband's murder. In the path, she faces many problems, including rape, eventually returned to the position of a health professional through a search of jobs. Here, in the context, the unity between first and third world is shown to be in the treatment of women as subordinate in both countries. The story expanded as a story of young widow suddenly widowed at 17, only 17. When she was only 17, she became widow. She uproots herself from her life in India. She roots herself in search of a new life, the image of America as well. It is a story of desolation, dislocation, and relocation as the protagonist continually sets lives to move into other roles, for moving further westward. The author, in some part of this life, shows some agony to the third world, as shown that Jasmine needs to travel to America to make something significant in her life. And in the third world, she faced only despair and loss. Okay, Leave It to Me. It is also a story of a child born in California. An unwanted female child is dropped like a hot brick at the nearest orphanage, where she is called Faustine. The child was later adopted by an Italian American family and christened as Debbie Di Martino. Despite the love and affection of her foster family, so though her foster family loved her, Debbie grows up with the awareness of being different, the feeling that she is an unwanted obstacle in the world that hurls on towards its mysterious destination. The feeling is sometimes haunting when everyone is surrounded but someone is feeling alone. At the conclusion, she comes to as said in search of her past, her origin, and unknown bio parents who had callously abandoned her. As the story progresses with jerks and shocks in a picturesque fiction bringing together a variety of characters who may or may not help to the protagonist in her search of biomom. The story mainly revolves around that girl, but at the same time takes some of the important aspects of life and beauty in a beautiful manner. Then, wife, the novel centers the character Dimple, who grows and matures and reveals skills and finally dies in the novel. In this novel, Dimple marries a person choose by her father and move to New York. New York. At the end, she becomes frustrated and out of fear, personal instability, she ultimately murders her husband and eventually commits suicide. Mukherjee deals with complications that come from being thrown between two worlds and strength and courage it takes her to survive in the end of life. Okay, so that's all for today. I will continue the series in my next video. Thank you for giving your time. I will not going to another writer, so because it will become bored. So now I will make the video short. Okay. Thank you for giving your time.